There are a lot of things that you should know when thinking about becoming pregnant. Something to expect is morning sickness. I'm sure you've all heard of this before. Morning sickness is a symptom that comes around the 6th week of pregnancy. By this time, you may know that she is pregnant due to a missing period or a positive pregnancy test. Morning sickness is caused by rapidly changing hormonal levels. Morning sickness is like a hangover without the party before. Another thing to expect when you're pregnant is weight gain. An average woman who is at a normal weight is expected to gain 20 to 30 pounds. The uterus begins at the size of about a pear. By the time the woman is 9 months pregnant, the uterus will be about 12 to 13 pounds. The baby bump definitely gets in the way of daily activities. Another thing that is normal is being fatigued. In the first trimester of pregnancy, women experience levels of fatigue from how much work their bodies have to do. The fatigue usually goes away by the 12th or 13th week. Don't be too scared off. There's a lot of things you can still do while you're pregnant. Telling your parents you are pregnant can be very difficult. Some of you may be very comfortable with talking to your parents about sex, but others of you not so much. To start off, try thinking about how your parents have reacted to things in the past. Have they acted violently, overreacted, not known how to act, or acted calmly? It's good to be prepared for how they're going to handle this situation. Find the right words to use. For example, I have something very hard to say. I'm pregnant. Let your parents absorb what you just told them and go from there. If talking to your parents is too difficult or you're scared for your safety, it might be a good idea to talk to your doctor. Get some advice from your doctor or even have them tell your parents. Make sure to tell your parents you understand how they feel. Don't be afraid to tell them your worries or fears in being pregnant. If you're scared for your safety, it's best to have someone with you when you break the news. Some parents can be very understanding about what happened. The best thing to do, no matter how they act, is to not avoid it. Talking about how to handle the pregnancy within the next months is very important.
I don't really know what I'd do.
No.
Definitely not.
No.
No. Maybe move to Mexico, where it's a little easier to make some money sometimes.
I would probably do I wouldn't be like one of those people who would disappear and leave it to the girl. I would probably just responsibility for it because it is your child.
I don't know.
I mean, after they beat the shit out of me.
Because my parents already talked to me about it. They're not going to do anything to it. So I'd have to do it all by myself.
At first it was scary and overwhelming, but then we also get this joy of having.
Becoming a teen parent was very challenging and very scary. Not only are you dealing with problems that you have at school and friendships and just life in general, but you have to do that still while learning and having a baby that you now have to have full responsibility for.
Experiences of people being negative towards you, people of doubting you, saying you're going to be a nobody.
Having a child, you're facing a lot of different experiences. Most teens are facing experiences in their own lives, having to learn how to find a job, how to communicate with their elders around them, with teachers, and do that eloquently, let alone trying to teach a baby of your own how to live in the world, and it was very difficult at times.
Teachers who told me that you should just drop out, you're not gonna, or you should give the baby up for adoption, otherwise you're gonna be a nobody. And that really motivated me to show them, no, I am gonna be a somebody. It's probably one of the toughest challenges that you can go through in life, having to get up at night every 2 hours. You think oh, okay, I've partied, it's fine, I've been tired before. It's absolutely not the same.
Every day was a challenge. If we're talking about school, I was successful. I worked very, very hard, and I kept my mind focused on the fact that I wanted my child at the time to have a good future, and in order
high school that I went to didn't have a pregnancy program per se or new parent program. So for me, I was really determined to graduate so I didn't have to transfer to a different school. And I was actually able to graduate a semester early, not because I was pregnant and I took more classes then, but because throughout every single year leading up to that, I took summer school just to take summer school and get more credits. So I was able to graduate early, and that was good, but it was harder. There were some teachers that were supportive, some teachers that, like I told you guys, were very negative about it, and
being a student and being a parent at the same time was very, very difficult. You have to, keep school as your priority in order to be able to finish school and have a good future that you can offer your child, but at the same time, your child takes priority over all of that. So it was really hard to learn how to balance that and be successful. I had to enlist in the help of family and close friends around to be able to help me just hold the baby every now and then so I can get homework done, and learning how to do everything with one hand because you have a child in the other was challenging.
Did you ever drop the baby down the stairs?
I guess not. I think
This is a question that very many people ask me, and I thought about it many times, and I always come back to the answer of no. I truly believe that we are dealt the life that we were given, and it was planned to be that way. I think that having a child at
I didn't tell my parents. So my brother was going to college, my older brother, and he was coming home, I think, for like Thanksgiving break or something. So I had called him and I said, "Hey, when are you coming home? I miss you." And he was like, "What's going on?" It's like suspicious. So I said, "Well, I have something to tell you." And so I told him that I was pregnant, and so he was kind of in disbelief and shock. And I said, "So by the way, when you come home, so can you tell parents for me?" So he was like, "Sure, I can do it." So my husband and I were both in the room, another room, in my room, while my brother sat down with my mom. We waited for my dad not to be home, because my parents were very strict. My dad more than my mom. So I thought, oh my God, my dad's gonna kill me for sure. Like, I'm gonna be a dead woman. So my brother told my mom, and then she called us into the room, and then we kind of had a conversation. But I never told my dad. It was kind of like my mom had the conversation with him, but it was like the white elephant in the room, and him and I never had the conversation. But later on, we have pictures of like us standing next to each other, like comparing bellies, But
the way I told my parents was I was very, very scared of my mother and her reaction, so I knew that I had to write a letter because I knew I wouldn't be able to get the words out of my mouth, and that's exactly what I did.
Is an all over feeling that your whole body feels, and it's concentrated in like your back, stomach region, and the best way to describe it is it just going like like that. It's really indescribable. There aren't any words in English or Spanish I have to really do it justice, the feeling that it is. And it lasts for about a minute, and then it just magically disappears, and then you feel totally fine again. Great. She was fantastic, and right when she came out, they put her on my chest, and it was awesome. Sleeping was really tough that last trimester, the last 3 months. It was just hard to get comfortable. Walking, I loved walking because it felt good, but then it started getting hard. You start doing the waddle, because your hips start shifting and everything starts moving. But as far as activities, I still swam, which actually was really nice. So sleep was probably the biggest activity that was just wildly interrupted.
Breastfeeding has been challenging.
The actual, when I'm with my baby, it's great and it's fine. Pumping, as a working mom, pumping is very challenging.
Fortunately, my body just didn't make enough, and I tried everything. I was really committed to it, and it still bums me out. I tried, any pill you could imagine. I tried brewer's yeast, I tried fenugreek, I tried these euphoric herbals from somewhere back east, this lady who makes all this holistic stuff. I went to acupuncture, I did chiropractic, I ate a ton of oatmeal, I drank more water than you can imagine, I drank beer, like all of the things that are supposed to help. They're called galactagogues, they help you produce milk. I drink mother's milk tea, which tastes awful. And so I wasn't able to, so I had to supplement both babies with formula. But at the end of the day, feeding your baby is what's best for your baby. So bittersweet breastfeeding.
Did you have any challenges
With what?
breastfeeding?
Yeah, the challenge, both babies latched on. It was fine. I saw a lactation consultant to make sure I was doing everything I could be doing, and holding and positioning, and then the football pose, and then this, and moving them all around. And my body just doesn't make enough. And I was bummed out about it a lot, but then I realized I was able to give what I was able to give. And at the end of the day, I'm happy with it.
How did you feel about breastfeeding in public?
There's women, my sister-in-law is super proud. She's just like, takes her boob out and will sit like this, no problem, at SeaWorld or the zoo, anywhere. I think it's great. I don't have that much confidence. I don't feel like I need that much attention put on myself. So breastfeeding in public was never an issue. I did it and I felt comfortable about it, but I definitely always put something over myself. I didn't want to deal with any extra attention. I draw enough attention.